Good morning everybody and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and Volmer. And today I've got lots to talk about. We've got some major changes on the way. We've got Loco updates and a few new bits have turned up on the layout. So without further ado, I'm going to spin you around and we're going to talk about the first locomotive. So this is my first locomotive to talk to you about. This is a Lima Class 73, and I picked up this Lima 73 for £31 off of eBay. Now, it has had some work to it, and I haven't finished with it. It's still a work in progress. It's basically been converted from a DC to a DCC locomotive, as per the previous videos that I showed you how to do it. I've resprayed the roof into a grey because it was blue, but it had a few marks on it, so I gave it a grey roof, as it did carry in a later life. This was actually, I was hoping to badge this as Broadlands 73201, but I can't find the nameplates anywhere, and I can't find the numbers anywhere either. So for the moment, it's just staying as 73001. It's had its chassis done. It's got a air horn missing, which I've got some spare air horns somewhere, but for the life of me I can't find them anywhere. I've been hunting around for them for a little while, but I know I've got an additional 2 spares somewhere. And I also had to make up a new front bar that was missing, but like I said, for the price I paid for it, it was pretty much a really good price and a good bargain. I know that GBRF do have a blue 73 in the Heritage blue livery, which is why I wanted to kind of sort of represent that on the layout. So off it goes. Oh, actually no, it doesn't go. That's the wrong one. Right, she'll definitely move now. Right, let's go. Off it goes. So the next locomotive to talk to you about is just coming into shot now. And here is my latest repaint on the Class 60 range. This is a 60055 Thomas Bernardo. So this is now completely finished. It's had its chassis repainted. The body obviously has had a complete refit. The buffers have been done. The front air dam has been done. I've actually left the decoupling on the back because I still wasn't convinced with the 2 modifications I've made on the other 260s, but I'll leave well enough alone now because I can't really go back to that, but that's fine with me. I could probably go on Peter Spares if I want to revert it back to the decoupling, but for now I'm quite happy with this one. And it's just got a standard chip in it, and I've also changed the lights on it on the front. I don't know if you could see. Let me see if we can sort of get a bit closer. But basically you've got the main headlight on this side and the marker light on the far side, and that's just done through the repainting side of things. It's also got cab lights, which I've put into that one as per the other one, and it's also got instrument lights on the inside as well. So all in all, this is another one completed and looking fine and dandy. And we're going to send this one on its merry way. It's just pulling some Mark III coaches, intercity ones, on a sort of... I haven't actually put this away yet. I've been having to clear out on the layout with Loco, so there isn't much in the way of rolling stock knocking about. So we're going to briefly look at this 73 for those of you who missed it on the live stream. Here it is. Let's just get my camera work up to scratch. And this arrived recently, Eva. Also recently arrived to the layout. And basically this has got sound in it. And those of you who missed the live stream, it's just a quick look at this because it was presented on the live stream. But this is basically a 30-year-old Lima Class 73 and it's got sound in it. It's an electro diesel, so it has both electric and diesel sounds. So that's pretty cool. So I'll just give you a brief sound of that. So this is on electric. That's pretty cool. So it's just coming round again. I'll just give you the sound of the horns. So the beauty of this is that she can switch from electric to diesel and diesel to electric whilst she's on the move. So on the next pass we'll switch it over to diesel so you can hear the diesel. It's got a Coastal DCC sound from Kevin Dixon and it's got a mega bass speaker in it from Roads and Rails to replace the speaker that came with it. So I'm just going to switch it to diesel. You can sort of hear it rumbling along on the diesel now. So it's just coming back round again and we'll shut it down when it comes round. Or I'll slow it down. So something else to talk to you about is we've got another 60 on the bench, which is currently in its prime state. So this is the fourth one that I'm now working on. So this one's just currently just had its ends done and a primer, and that's all it's at the moment. That's the stage that it's at. So this one's going to be turned into, if the colour's right, it's going to be turned into the DB Schenker Red Switch to Safety 60007, and that's the Spirit of Tom Kendall. So that's the next one for that one, assuming that the red is correct. So that's something else that I'm working on, so that's already had a head start on that. And then something new that's turned up on the layout is there's going to be some major changes done to the layout, and it's basically at this bottom end, and I'll explain it when I turn the camera around. And it's not done because I'm bored or anything like that. I'm actually having one or two issues, and whilst I'm having these issues to sort out, basically I'm just going to take the opportunity to rejig the track work. And so one of the reasons that I want to just do it is I'm having some running issues. And so what I'm going to do is something else has turned up to layout. So let me talk to you about what's turned up at the layout first, and then we can move on to what we're gonna do with it. So basically, this is a Oxford die-cast tanker, Exol tanker, and it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I've waited some time for this because I got it from Paul at my local model shop, and he didn't have it in stock. And what happened was I saw it on Hatton's on the cheap, or I think it was actually more or less the same price. It was slightly cheaper, but to be honest, with the postage, it didn't really work out that much different. The thing is that at the time I saw this tanker, I bought the car train, and I'd already paid for the car train, and I'd already ordered it to come when I realised about this tanker. So it was too late to add to the order without paying the additional postage. So that's why I kind of asked Paul whether he had it. And he said he didn't have it, but he was going to get it in stock. So I've had to wait a few months, but it isn't really a big deal because I wasn't in a huge hurry for it. But now it's turned up. It's absolutely gorgeous. I just absolutely love it. It's a Scania. And I'm looking forward to having it on the layout. Let's take it out of its package. It's cool. One of the reasons is because you can get the BP version, but I didn't want the BP version because the BP version is like standard kind of. And I don't have a BP garage or anything like that on the layout because obviously my town seems quite restricted. But one of the reasons why I wanted the blue one is as a bus driver, we obviously don't take our buses to local garage to get them fueled up. So we've got our own fueling points at the depots. And basically it's not BP or Shell, the main people that come in and basically fill up the tanks. It's actually independent companies that come in and do it, and maybe less known ones. I'm not exactly sure about Exol, to be truthful with you, but it was just different from the BP, and I love the blue, I love the style, and I just thought it was just absolutely brilliant. And I'm just going to incorporate this onto the layout, and now I'm going to spin you round back to the layout to explain to you what I'm going to do to it. So this is absolutely fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to having this fitted. Now, one of the other things I've also got, it's not new, it's actually very old. I went to an exhibition, and this goes to show you how old this is. I went to an exhibition and I went with Tony Northeastern, and we hooked up there. And me and him were I think it's at the Fareham exhibition we both went to. And I picked up a tanker for about £4. This is it. It's a little tank wagon. Now, to be honest, it's completely different to any of my other wagons that I have. It just doesn't seem to sit right. But obviously it's an Amoco, so it's a fuel, it's a TEA wagon. And I think it's a Lima wagon as well. Now, the plan for this is to dismantle it and use the chassis maybe as another cam truck or something like that if I want to. But I really want to use the tank to slot into a container to see, as it's like a mobile fuel storage. When I used to work for my other previous bus company, we used to have a sort of container which had a fuel storage tank in it, and we used to pump the fuel out of that and into the buses. And I wanted to do a very similar thing with this. I just wanted to stick the tank into a container and add a pump on the end, and so basically it's like an in-house kind of fueling situation, which is what I'm going to be doing and adding to the main container depot. So now I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to be doing with the container layout. So here we are. Now I'm back on the layout, and now I'm going to explain to you exactly what's going to happen. Basically, this whole corner from the top all the way around and up to down here, this section in particular has been giving me nothing but grief. And the other problem that I was having was, if I just drop you down, these storage lines, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4, were great to a point, but what it's doing is, when I was storing the HSTs and things, they block the view of the running lines. So whenever I try to get any running shots, like a couple that I've given you on this video, basically all the trains that were stacked along here were blocking the view of the main running lines. So I couldn't really get any good running shots. So bearing all this in mind, I've decided that this whole bottom section is just going to be rearranged, and that corner. So basically, pretty much half of the track plan is going to be pulled up. So it's going to be a massive job, but I'm off for a couple of weeks now. So hopefully we can get the bulk of it, even if it's not finished. But hopefully we can get the track up and realigned to something a bit more suitable. I also am going to make the container yard bigger. So I'm just going to zoom you out if I can. I'm already zoomed out. So what I'm going to be doing is, like I said, making the container yard bigger. And what I mean by that is that these two, forgive me for all the dodgy camera work for a minute. Basically, these two main lines are going to come further down towards the front end of the layout, down towards the front here. And these running lines will become part of the container terminal. And my plan is to basically shunt everything back down this way to make the container terminal bigger. So these two, where the spine wagons are currently, I'm going to be getting rid of those two lines. And what I'm going to be doing is, if I just sort of move that out of the way, bear with me a minute, just so you can have a better view. So basically this leg of the crane here will be removed, and that leg will be going into this, and then this leg will come further down this way. That's sort of what I'm thinking at the moment, but actually I'm actually thinking of even going further than that. It's not set in stone, but basically everything's going to be come down and pulled forward like this. And I'm going to get rid of all the storage lines and actually just have the running lines towards the front. So when I want to do the running shots, I'm not going to have parked trains blocking the view. So these two will become the running lines, or maybe lose this line and keep these two as the running lines, so it's not right up against the board here. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment with that and where that sits. I just think it's going to be more useful to do that than to have all these trains, because it's just they're just getting in the way. And like I said, I'm getting issues over here because this corner here was level when I laid it, but it isn't quite level, and it's causing derailments with the finer stuff. The old Lima stuff with the big flanges can handle it better, but the finer stuff, sometimes they just get derailed. And especially if the wagons are really light as well, they just cause all sorts of problems. So the plan is still to keep the town scene, keep that as it is, but basically these two running lines, main running lines, will actually sweep further down towards the front of the layout, and then they'll run along the bottom edge of the layout, along here, and the same for these two running lines. They will come further down towards the front end of the layout. So that's something else that's going to be happening. So it is going to be a bit of a major job, but I think it's going to be better, all told. And generally speaking, the container terminal will be bigger and have more scope for more things to put on it, in terms of just have more, being able to have space for more containers, or having a fueling point. So the whole point of that tanker, and to create the fuel storage tank for this as well, is so that they can fuel up the vehicles that are within the confines of the container terminal, which won't normally be out on the main public roads. Stuff like the reach stacker over there. I'm not sure whether the straddler is diesel or electric, whether that's a plug-in or whether that's a diesel. But like I said, vehicles like that, in-house vehicles that can be fueled up within the confines of the container terminal. So I want to do that, and maybe add some more spaces for vehicles and stuff like that, and maybe just generally add more vehicles to make it look busier as well. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. And I'm also looking at getting another crane. So it's got two cranes instead of one, to make it even bigger. So that's another idea that I'm working on and working towards. So one of my things that I'm considering doing is possibly having these two lines possibly here. Oops, where are we on the camera? These two lines here possibly joining up to a point at the end, so the train can pull it into one and run around the train and pick it up going back the other way. That's something else I'm toying with, but like I said, nothing's set in stone as such. The main thing I really want to do is get either these two lines or these two lines to be turned into the main running lines. So that's the main sort of objective, and then the container yard I can work around. But I just want to get it running properly down the other end. There's too many points down there, curve points, which is causing me too many issues. So like I say, I'm going to just take the opportunity to rejig the track work, and to put it into somewhere where I want it to be. Like I said, I'm currently off now for 2 weeks, so I've got 2 weeks to sort of really crack on, get this all lifted up, and get this rejigged, and have a new track plan. So that's the plan. So it's going to be a lot of work, but it will definitely keep me busy for the next few weeks, and it's going to be quite mad, because I'm also going to probably have to put down some more filler to actually create a bigger base. So that's not going to be, so it's not going to be a quick 5-minute job. So it's going to take a lot of work. But I'm going to take this opportunity whilst I'm off, whilst we're still in lockdown and can't really do much, to really just crack on with what I'm doing. Hopefully I can salvage all the tracks. I won't need any extra track. It'll just be a case of just lifting it and not ruin any of the points. So that's why there isn't much in the way of rolling stock, but there's a plan. So until the next time, I hope you've enjoyed it. And until the next time, I don't know when that is, the layout will look quite a fair bit different. So bye from Milton Hall Volmer. Bye bye.